Hey guys, this is Miriam at High Life Auto. It is 70 some odd degrees outside. Let me see if my thing has a thing. 79 degrees outside today, so I'm out doing video test drives. If you've never been on my video test drives before, the way it works is I drive the vehicle on video, and I tell you what I see, hear, think, smell, and feel to give you the best indication of being in the driver's seat without actually being in the driver's seat. I'm not a mechanic, and this is not meant to be a 182-point inspection. Rather, it's meant to be a sneak peek into how the vehicle drives and any potential issues I notice as we're going along. So, we'll take a look around the vehicle, we'll take a look under the hood, and then we'll go for a drive. This one is a 2010 Ford Explorer. And I'm gonna go for a drive. I don't know a whole lot about this one, except the auction said that the seller said that the transfer case was going out, and so the auction didn't drive it and they sold it that way. Matt said it drove fine. He said there's a little bit of noise, and I asked him, I said, can I drive it on a video test drive? And he said yes. So we're gonna drive it. We're still going to assume that there's a transfer case something, so be aware of that. Regardless of what this sounds like or doesn't sound like, just assume that you've got a transfer case repair, and if you don't, then you get a golden egg. And so we just have to assume that, because I don't want you to buy a vehicle because it sounds really good and then have a transfer case repair and then be ticked off at me because then you have this repair. So that's all of that. Now let's get on to this. All right, 2010 Ford Explorer. Pretty decent looking on this side. No real rust, dents, dings, or anything really that I can see. Tires. I didn't bring my little tire majiggy thing with me. I don't know where it's at. So we're gonna go back to my fingers. Probably at least 50%. I don't even know where my tire majiggy thingy went. These are not as good, but let's say 40%. They're not down to the wear bars. Usually I say wear bars are 25%. If there's a little bit above the wear bars, I say about 30%. And if there's, some above there, I say about 40%. But so I'd say those about 40. The back is about 50. That's kind of where we'll go with that. So this is the leather interior. Normal wear and tear. It's 2010, so it's like 16 years old, but there's no major holes or anything. Just regular leather wear. And this one's got all kinds of cool stickers on it. Sometimes I remove stickers and stuff, but this one I did not remove because I really like them. So if you want them removed, I will either remove them for you, or you can remove them yourself. That's fine. Either way, I just really like them. So on the back, it looks like we're pretty decent here as well. I don't really see any major issues. Let's see. This is the back end. There is, you'll see up on the other side, there is the spare tire is on. So here's the original with the aluminum wheel. And I don't exactly know what's wrong with this tire. I don't know if there's a... I don't know. I mean, it feels like it's holding air. But I don't know if there's a hole in it or what. So, this tire's off for some reason. It's in the back for, you can put the original back on, to get the aluminum thing. We have this, which makes me think there's third row, but let me see. Hey, check that out. I don't know if you can see that or not. There is third row in this sucker, and it was hidden underneath this tire. Here's a trim piece. Where does that go on? Well, we're missing a trim piece somewhere. I'll see if I can find it somewhere. But let's see. Up. Okay. So they both do go up. It does have third row. I'll get some pictures of that later for the website. But that is really cool, because we did not know it was third row until right now. So there's that. This side, I don't really see. You've got a little loose something right here, but other than that, nothing that really sticks out as majorly wrong. No dents, dings, rust, anything like that. You see right there is your spare tire. So, you know, you can either, there's multiple things you can do. You can either put your spare tire on that aluminum rim because a spare tire is a good tire, or you can get a new tire, get a used tire, put it on the aluminum rim, and go from there. You know, or you can, you know, put the spare tire back up under the vehicle, or, you know, there's a lot of different ways you can go with that. Oh, here is where that aluminum piece goes. I don't know if you're missing clips or what it needs, but it is off. So here is your motor. Under here, it is the, it's the 4.0. Sounds like it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. Started right up. We've got, let's see. We've got some things under here. I don't know what they are. We've got some extra parts, but I don't know what they are. So if those part numbers mean anything to you, you're welcome to look those up and see what parts were replaced. But it doesn't look like there's anything like really super new, but doesn't mean anything either. So we will shut that and we will go get inside. Okay. Okay. Let's see. We've got 202,000 miles on the dash. No check engine lights, half a tank of gas. Let's just double check those check engine lights on the scanner. Looks like an aftermarket radio. Radio works, and I'm assuming it's going to have Bluetooth and stuff. Usually aftermarket radios do. I just don't know how to get to all of that. So, yeah, I mean, I'm assuming it will have, let's see, home. Yeah, so you can have your Bluetooth on there. Pretty much all of you need. Camera. Okay, so it probably doesn't have backup camera would be my guess, but it does have your radio, which works. So, let's see, info. Let's see what this gives us. That's trip, 202 miles to empty. Nothing interesting there. Setup. This should give us a oil life's at 33%. So your system check came back okay, and here's your oil change sticker. Looks like it by miles it's due at 205,940 something. By date it's due in April. You know, if you look at the computer, it's due in 33%. It does have four-wheel drive. We'll check that. We're gonna check our, let's see. Maybe we'll get lucky and we won't need heat anymore, but we'll check it anyways. We've got heated seats down here. They both light up. I'm assuming they both work. I'll check mine because I'm in the driver's seat. And we'll check the heat and make sure it works. It does work. We'll flip this and check our air conditioning and see how that feels. And we've got the rear controls too, which a lot of times I can't really get a good feel for up here, but we'll see if I can feel. Let's see, back there it feels like decently cold air, so I'm going to say that the air conditioning in the rear works and the air conditioning in the front works. So I'm going to say the air conditioning works. Passenger side window works. Rear passenger side window works. Rear driver's side window works, and driver's side window works. Okay, we do have two codes on here, and check engine light must not be requested yet, but 446 an Evap code. So let's see, Evap emission system vent circuit control. That might be like an actual exhaust leak. It might just be a sensor that's saying there's an exhaust leak just because it's got the control circuit. But unless you live in like St. Louis County or something where they do emissions testing, or potentially to other states, that should not be an issue. 461 fuel level sensor A circuit. There's a potential that the gas gauge is not accurate, and if it's not, it should, go up and down, and we will see if that acts up. But those are the only two codes on there. I'm gonna clear them and just see if any of them come back by the end of the test drive, because sometimes those codes are old codes and they're not really valid anyways, but we will double check and see what they say. Okay, so I'm going to turn the air off though, because what I'm really looking for is the transfer case thing. And I am going to put it into, so 4x4 auto is going to be, so this is going to be an all-time four-wheel drive vehicle. And my heated seat does work, by the way. So an all-time four-wheel drive vehicle, and then you have the option to put it in four-wheel drive high if you need it, like if you're stuck on the side of the road in a mud pile or something like that. The dash does say we have four-wheel drive. We're going to crank it, and we do have four-wheel drive. So I'm going to put it back in four-wheel drive auto. Most of the time in an Explorer you won't need four-wheel drive low, just because that's when you're really pulling something fairly heavy. An Explorer probably shouldn't be pulling something fairly heavy, but well, you do what you do. So we're going to go drive this and see what we've got. And to be honest, I don't really know what a transfer case sounds like. So I'm just gonna let you listen. We're up at the top of the hill. It does drive well. It's got good power. It's running and driving just fine. I don't hear any suspension noise. Obviously there is that noise there. I don't know. I don't know if that's the transfer case noise. So someone who's more versed than I am is going to have to, if you don't know what a transfer case is and what it entails, it's probably not the vehicle for you. So there's, it doesn't sound bad at all. Like, it doesn't sound bad. It just sounds like a noise. I kind of want to get underneath it and just see what it looks like under there, but I might do that when I get back. So, but we'll finish up. So, the brakes are good and solid, no grinding, no vibration. They're not brand new at the top of the pad. They're probably, I'd say half used, but they work just fine. There's no issues with stopping or anything. The left side turn signal works, right side turn signal works, windshield wipers and fluid work. And then we'll check our cruise and just see. And we've got our cruise that works. So, in a nutshell, the car runs and drives very well. Everything seems to work, with the exception of whatever that noise is. And we've been told that it is a transfer case by the seller, and I don't even know who the seller is. But that's all I know. It seems to drive good. So do your research. I know that this is going to be a cheaper vehicle, so even if it's something, if you have the ability or you want to buy a cheaper vehicle and you have the mechanic who can put it in, It's a really nice third row 4-wheel drive vehicle. So just kind of keep that in mind and see what you see. Everybody's got their own needs for everything. So if you have any questions, you're welcome to call me. See if I can answer any of them for you. My cell phone is 309-267-7200, and I can try and answer them, or I can potentially find someone who can answer them. I'm going to run these codes real quick and just see if any of those codes came back. So for now, there's no code stored in the module. Even when we started, there was no check engine light on the dash, so they hadn't pulled yet. Anyways. So, but when you come to look at this, you're welcome. We can pull the codes and see if anything has shown up. Anyways, so that's what I got. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Thanks.